Welcome to the High Value Sales Show of Eversprint.com. I'm Malcolm Louie, the managing member of Eversprint, and today we're speaking with Jamie Teets, the CEO and founder of Transportation One, a full-service multi-modal logistics provider. Welcome to the show, Jamie.
Thank you, Malcolm. Pleasure.
Jamie, you grew your company's revenue from $17 million in 2014 to $31.5 million in 2017, an 85% increase. And in 2018, you hit around $40 million. Before we talk about how you grew your company so fast, can you briefly share what your company does beyond my quick intro and how your company differs from the competition?
Yeah, so we primarily focus on North American transportation, primarily surface transportation or over the road. There's many modes and ways of transporting goods. Most of what we do is by truck. Full truckload is predominantly what we move. The industries that we service range primarily from food, beverage, grocery and retail, and CPG. Our clients range from the largest shippers in the world, several Fortune 100 shippers, to small family-owned businesses. How we differentiate ourselves from competition is quite easy, and we're very customer-centric, customer service focused. Getting the product delivered on time, staying true to our commitment, operating with integrity and ethics, and building trust with our clients very quickly. On the other side of the business, it is very important that we treat our carrier partners equally as important as our customers, our shipping partners, and that is being honest with them, operating with integrity and ethics, really mirroring how we operate with our customers and the way we interact with our carriers. Has really allowed us to gain traction and continue to grow not only our existing portfolios, but gaining new business because of our reputation and overall credibility in the industry and the market.
All right. So when you grew your company's revenue from $17 million in 2014 to $40 million in 2018, what would you say were the three biggest drivers behind that growth?
I think talent is probably number one. Over the many years of the first 7 to 8 years bootstrapping the business and starting it up, was myself and another partner at the time kind of growing the business. We lacked a true management team and having mid-level managers, which caused a lot of friction at a certain point. So over the past 2 years or so, we've done a great job of bringing not only a phenomenal and tremendous talent to our organization, some of the best in the industry, but they've really helped layer some of the fundamentals that we were lacking before because of that lack of leadership. So talent, number one, without doubt. I think number two is operating and continuing to operate with our core values in mind. I've mentioned trust, integrity, and ethics. Those are three core values that I've operated on to be honest, my entire life. That's how I was raised, in a family business, in a family setting. I saw how far that went in gaining trust from employees, not only customers and carriers, but the employees who are our number one and only asset. Without them, we can't succeed. So it goes a long way when our employees not only know that we operate the right way, we don't cut corners, but our customers and carriers know that as well. Third, I would say, having a vision, chasing that vision, and operating on that vision by taking calculated risks. I am a big believer in taking risks so long as they are calculated. Not every risk can be calculated, but we try to dial it in and fine tune it as much as possible, which has really allowed us to look at different scenarios and ways to pivot the business. I'm also a believer with that calculated risk that mistakes and failures do happen. I'm a firm believer in learning from mistakes and failures, so long as they do not continue to be a trend, but rather a learning experience. I'm a huge advocate for it, and I do push my team to take those risks, and that understanding there may be an inherent mistake or failure along the way, but that's what makes us better, and that's what we learn from. So in sum, I would say, our people continuing to operate, people and talent, continuing to operate with our core values in mind, the top three being trust, integrity, and being ethical. And third is taking calculated risks, allowing and the understanding that mistakes and failures are acceptable so long as they're learning experiences.
Now, you talk about chasing your vision. Can you share with me what your vision is that you're chasing?
Your vision is to be one of the largest North American third-party logistics firms. That is to become a several $100 million organization. My vision isn't all about dollars and cents. My vision is to create an organization, to have several hundred people in my organization that are happy with their careers. They see the upward potential and opportunity within our organization, and they love coming to work every single day. So my vision is, in sum, with that said, to have a culture that not only all of my employees embrace, but my shipper and carrier partners understand what our culture is internally as well and enjoy working with us as a result of that. So getting big is one piece of it, but getting big the right way is more important to me, because being big is not the only, it's not the only piece to the puzzle that we're trying to solve. Career progression and workplace happiness is very important to us. So as long as I can build an organization where I can see other people flourish, make the best of themselves, bring out the best in themselves, and help others along the way, I think that my vision in that sense would be accomplished. Right.
And in terms of the building talent as being one of the drivers, now the talent that you're building out, was it referring really to the middle management areas to help manage the growth of your business, or are you also talking about people who are your client-facing folks, or the people who are actually, behind the scenes, making sure everything is running well?
Yeah, it's top-down talent. So it's everything that you said, Malcolm. It's anywhere from the C-suite all the way down to our entry-level opportunities that we have at our company. We have training programs where we have training classes several times per year, ranging from anywhere from 10 to 15 people per training class. It's a new program that we developed and refined over the last few years. It's better than it's ever been, which has helped with our attrition and general employee retention, which is very important to us as we build a culture, is continuing to make sure our employees are engaged. So I've recently hired a chief customer officer that can help with all revenue generating aspects of my business, and we continue to hire these training classes. So it is literally top down, from the C-suite to entry level and mid-level management layered in between all of that.
Right. So your hiring of your you called him a chief revenue officer, is that what you called him, or her?
Chief customer officer, chief CCO. Customer.
Okay, and that kind of ties into my next set of questions. For 2019, how are things looking? What sort of numbers are you looking at revenue-wise by year end?
2019 is looking very favorable for transportation. One, we are continuing to significantly outpace the market. I believe the market has only grown, the transportation logistics, third-party logistics market has grown anywhere, I believe, from 3 to 5%. We are looking to grow at least 50%, 50, over 2018. So we are looking at tremendous growth, continuing to outpace the market and continuing to scale in the direction that we've planned to.
50% growth is huge. What do you guys do to make that happen?
There's a lot that we do with that, but I think getting back to how we treat and both our employees, our customers, and our carrier partners, we treat every load that we move as if it were our last load. I think the mentality in which we operate, having a winning attitude, a winning mentality, that we're the best in class, kind of rubs off on our shippers, and they have that confidence that we are the real deal. We not only talk the talk, but we actually walk the walk as well. There's 17,000 brokers in North America that we compete with, but service, what we continue to do in servicing our customer, you asked how we differentiate, and it is very simple. It's customer service and following through with our commitment and what we've committed to do. Because of that, we've been able to not only grow our existing customer base significantly, Contracts with our larger customers 12 to 24 months ago used to range from 3 to 8 million. Now we're seeing contracts from our customers range from anywhere from 10 to 20 million with a single customer. So that has been a huge part of our organic growth. As we continue to build out our sales team as well, we are onboarding and bringing on a lot of new business, new contracts. So our business development team is starting to ramp up. We have not had a business development team traditionally. I have been the only salesperson in the organization for the entirety of since we've opened the doors of Transportation One. So as we build out that sales organization, it's not only farming and penetrating existing business, but building out our business development team to land new accounts, new contracts, and then continuing to grow and exploit opportunities within those as well.
Can you share how your business development team goes about finding new business for Transportation One?
There's many ways to find new business. I think because of our position and because of our credibility in the marketplace, we get a lot of warm leads. We get a lot of referrals. That's not the only way we grow our business, but that is a large portion of the way we do grow our business because of the way we operate and because we differentiate by servicing our customer first and always. That has allowed us for customers to give referrals to some of their vendors or some of their direct customers. So those are very warm, if not hot leads that have gotten us in with some very large, multi-billion, multinational type accounts. A lot of them sit on the Fortune 100 and 500 list. From a business development perspective, it's really going through and finding how we can convert any warm leads or hot leads as quickly as possible. So we're going through prior movements or loads that we call them in our industry, which is a point A to point B, and going through all of the warehouses that we've either shipped out of or we ship into that are not a customer today. So it's a very simple lead list, lead gen, pretty standard in the industry. But I think where we have a leading edge on all of that is our credibility and our reputation is second to none. Our customers would say that, and the fact that we have several Fortune 100 shippers that would say that we are their number one transportation partner goes a long way. So that word of mouth referral is one of the biggest. The second is just going through general lead generation, going through warehouses in our system, again, that we've shipped out of or into, that has really helped us establish credibility that we've picked up out of their facility, or we've delivered into their facility for brand X, brand X being a current customer.
So the way it works, when you make an outreach to these warehouses, are there warehouses or customers, or do they just refer you to other companies that use their warehouse? Is that how it works?
It could be a number of things, honestly, Malcolm. Typically, let's say Kraft Heinz, for instance, is one of our large customers, and we will ship out of Kraft Heinz into several retailers. That could be Costco, that could be Target, that could be Walmart. So anytime Kraft Heinz could be a customer of ours and we ship out of their facility, but the fact that we're shipping out of a Kraft Heinz facility into a Costco, a Walmart, a Target, a big box retailer, that alone establishes credibility that we are a transportation solutions provider for Kraft Heinz. Kraft Heinz is very diligent in their carrier selection and process and which carriers and transportation partners like Transportation One that they utilize. So there's credibility instantly, the fact that we ship and we are a partner of Kraft Heinz, and they're trusting us and allowing us to deliver into their largest customer, Costco, Walmart, Target, etc. So there's instantaneous credibility granted when we deliver those shipments to the big box retailers. So in that example, Kraft Heinz may refer us to a Target, a Costco, a Walmart, a CNS Wholesale, saying that Transportation One is one of our premier elite partners. We do trust them, and you should give them a clean look. There's other times, Malcolm, where we ship out of third-party warehouses. So Kraft Heinz, the example, if we stick with that, may be shipping out of a third-party warehouse. So they don't actually own the warehouse. Another company may own that warehouse. And within that warehouse, they may store product for Kraft Heinz. They may store product for Mondelez. They may store product for Unilever. They may store product for Procter and Gamble. Not many times you'll see competing products in the same warehouse, but the point is some of these third-party warehouses will store product for a number of customers. So in that sense, if we ship out of a third-party warehouse for Kraft Heinz and they have another customer within that third-party warehouse, Kraft Heinz, not owning that warehouse, could say to the third-party warehouse, hey, you should give Transportation One a look at some of your other business and within your warehouse because you ship to the same clients that we do, the Walmarts, Costco's, and Targets, the big box retailers. So there's a lot of cross-pollination, a lot of synergistic opportunities that arise in a number of ways. So that's the fun in logistics is there's never a dull moment and there's always opportunity in everything that we do. And we see all opportunity that we cross as an opportunity to grow our business further and doing it the right way while servicing our customer in mind first and always.
Right. So when you have a third-party warehouse, are you, an example you gave me, and are you depending on Heinz to make the introduction for you, Kraft Heinz make the intro, or will your team be proactive and just reach out to those guys directly right out of the blue?
It would be a dream come true if our customers were always referring us to new customers. So no, that's not what we're relying on. That will happen, although it's seldom. It does happen, but we are relying on our team to be proactive and placing outbound calls and emails, but establishing themselves with credibility and not. I'm a big believer in trying to make every call at least a warm call and not a cold call.
Right.
So because of our customer base is so diverse, because our customer base ranges from many blue chip enterprise like shippers, it becomes very easy for my team to confidently reach out to new prospects and immediately establish that credibility because we support shippers A, B, and C, and we are their number one provider. Here's some scorecard, here's some data to back it up. Again, we don't just talk the talk, we walk the walk. We prove a lot of what we do with data. Data has become an intricate part of not only our industry, but every industry, I think, in the world today. Data and technology, big data are huge aspects of what everyone's doing. So we try to use data to our advantage when we're reaching out to potential clients to show them, here's what we've done, here's the backup and support. And by the way, Johnny will refer us over from Kraft Heinz. He's happy to give a referral. So we'll try to use that in our favor, but we will only provide a name and a referral of a client so long as they've given us approval, because some people aren't comfortable with that. So we do try to stay within the lines there.
Right. Now, you mentioned there's a lot of competition out there, 17,000 different logistics brokers out there, I think you mentioned before. I imagine there's probably an even larger number of warehouses out there. What's the typical sales process when you reach out to a warehouse where it's not a warm referral? Do they say, yeah, let's do business fairly quickly, or is it a long, drawn-out process?
It's typically, in our business, the sales cycle for reaching out to new clients on the shipper-facing side is a much longer sales cycle. So I wouldn't call it a long, drawn-out process. It's just a longer sales cycle than the other side of our business, which is transportation, sourcing, and procurement, which is finding trucking companies to partner with to move the freight that we're getting from our shippers. That is a very short, sometimes instantaneous phone call, and you can form a relationship. On the shipper side, it is a much longer. The larger the client, typically the larger the sales cycle. Because we are a middleman, a broker, there is a negative connotation to brokerage in any industry, whether that be in finance, banking, or transportation logistics that we operate in. A lot of people see brokerage as a markup in cost. That is true. So we have to find the value when we're marking it up from the trucking company we partner with. We have to find the value in how and why we deliver that to our customers. So I think it's important to understand that it is a longer sales cycle because we are a broker, and there's a negative connotation to that because there's 17,000 of them. These shippers that we are calling they're getting the same phone calls from those 16,999 other brokers. So we have to find a way to differentiate. So that's again why I get back to, I try to get my sales team and my sales manager to at least tee up every phone call or email that we send out to find a way to try to catch their attention, as opposed to just saying, we are another person that operates in the transportation and logistics space. To be frank, because the number of phone calls that they will receive, a lot of these people, they are gatekeepers. They are very good at their jobs. They have no problem to hang the phone up, because in transportation and logistics, we are putting fires out all day long. It's 24/7, 365. It never sleeps. So we have to be respectful of their time. We have to be short, sweet, and to the point, but we've got to understand who we're calling and how we're targeting them, as opposed to making a blind cold call, because that will not go far. And to your point, to call a shipper or a prospect, even small, medium, or large size shipper, them to answer the phone and say, we're doing business tomorrow. I can say in my 13 plus years in this industry, still making sales calls from time to time on larger blue chip enterprise accounts, I have yet for that to ever happen. So that probably gives you a perspective.
So for the shipper facing side, we're talking months, years to get something done?
Yeah, both. There can be the shorter term on the sales cycle for that customer facing. It typically can be days to weeks to months. I would say on average, it's probably months of actively touching that customer, whether that's phone calls, emails, or face-to-face meetings. We are very diligent in how we profile our customers, what their wants and needs are, and then we tailor our responses, and whether that warrants a face-to-face meeting, a handwritten letter, an email, or other old school ways of selling. I think a lot of people in this day and age like to hide behind email. I'm a firm believer in shaking hands, meeting with people face to face, having transparent and honest conversations, because you get a lot out of those conversations. You see personalities, you can understand and build trust much quicker than you can hiding behind emails. So I think the much larger clients, the Fortune 100 shippers, those are typically years, multiple years of making calls and continuing to stay on them, because they typically have hundreds of millions of dollars of transportation spend. So they're diligent in who they work with. And because of that, they have few select partners that they do partner with. So they want to make sure that they thoroughly vet out the people that are calling on them, checking with other like shippers that we may work with. Because again, there's 17,000 of them. So establishing that credibility and looking over that course of time, they only may have 5 to 10 partners. So those contracts I mentioned earlier on, Malcolm, that were once, a couple million up to 8 to 10 million, are now 10 to 20 million dollar annual contracts with individual shippers. That took time, and those shippers only work with 5 to 10 third-party logistics companies like Transportation One. So they have to have a reason. They like to protect their incumbents, and they like to make sure that their partners are valued and taken care of, and know that they are protected and safe, that they will continue to grow and do business as they are performing. So they typically have to have a reason to kick one partner out to bring another in. And when you're working with some of those larger shippers where the sales cycle could be many years, you need to stay on top of it. You need to understand what needs to take place within that shipper in order for you to get an opportunity. And you need to make sure that you are on top of their minds when that opportunity arises. So I think it's important to gauge who you're talking to, again, what their wants and needs are, and understanding what their personality is, because they may want you to reach out once a week. They may want you to reach out daily, or they may say, don't touch base with me until next year. And you have to respect that, but you also have to find a way to be on top of their minds. So it's a delicate balance, I think, but that's where we do a phenomenal job of profiling our customers and shippers, what their wants and needs are, and then trying to, as much as possible, objectify that so we can understand how many touches and what kind of touches will go the longest way with them.
Right, got it. 3 last questions for you, Jamie. First one, If you had a billboard along the freeway that's advertising Transportation One, what's your billboard message going to be? And keep in mind that people only have maybe 6 seconds or so before they drive by a billboard.
Wow, billboard message. I haven't gotten that one. I do like it. I think we go by the motto of, and this is what I would probably say is excellence achieved, perfection expected. We make transportation easy and ensure your product is delivered on time. That's our job. I think that tailors to, if it were a realistic billboard, that tailors to not only job opportunities within Transportation One. Again, talent is our only and number one asset, always will be, but that also tailors the message to our shipping partners and our carrier partners that want to do business with us.
And my last two questions for you. Who are your ideal customers, and what's the best way for them to contact your company?
Our ideal customers are anyone that ships product to North America from point A to point B. Again, we will not turn down a customer unless it's because of their specific reputation, whether that be bankruptcy filings, lawsuits, liens, anything of that nature. Again, we want to do good business. We do good business here, operating with ethics, integrity, and trust. We don't cut corners. So long as the companies have a good reputation, shippers, we will work with anyone that is out there. We primarily, again, operate within the truckload sector. So that could be expedite, that could be tent control, flatbed, drive-in, over-dimensional, many different modes that we service. So any shipper that's reputable, credible, shipping from point A to point B in North America, they are a target client. The best way for them to reach out to Transportation One is to go out to our website, which is transportation1.com. That's all spelled out, transportationone.com. There's a contact us form there. And I could also provide you a few contacts for my director of business development, who would probably be the best contact to reach out to, so that she could understand who the target client is and then pass it within the respective managed vertical. Because within our company, we do operate and have specialists that operate within specific verticals because they know those industries the best.
Jamie, it's been awesome having you on my show today. I really enjoyed hearing how you grew your company so fast.
Yeah, Malcolm, I appreciate the time. It was a pleasure speaking with you. It's a humbling experience to be contacted and give some advice and some objective to what we're trying to do. But we're doing our best over here, always trying to get better and understand that we'll never be perfect, but doing our damnedest to get there.
We've been speaking with Jamie Teets, the CEO and founder of Transportation One, about his company's rapid growth. For interviews with other fast-growing, high-value sales companies, or to learn how we can accelerate your firm's high-value sales through automation, visit eversprint.com.